Okay, we're coming in from closed session. The kids will come back in a sec. They're going to take a picture outside, and then they'll come back in. We're coming in from closed session. We started that at 6 o'clock, and any actions we take in closed session, we report out. So with that, I'd ask our clerk, Trustee Prusso, to report out any actions taken in closed session.
We have no actions to report.
Thank you. And we took no expulsion actions this evening. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Education for Livermore Valley Joint Unified School District. So here our primary focus is on the education of the kids within the jurisdiction of this agency. During the course of the meeting, you'll have the opportunity to voice your concerns or ideas to us. And if it's something that's on the agenda, then we ask you to fill out a tan speaker card. And if it's not on the agenda, then you'll fill out a blue one. In either of those instances, it's these small cards like this. We'll call you up, no particular order, and so 3 minutes. Each person can speak up to one time on each of the things, whether it's a blue card or a tan card or each item. And then this is the thing that's a little bit new. In the event of a large number of speakers on any particular item, the audience communication for non-agendized or agendized item, if we have 1 to 10 cards on that topic or in the non-agendized ones, it's a 3-minute time limit. If we get 11 up to about 20, then we're going to go 2 minutes, and then we reduce it down to 1 minute if we get over 21. And the reason I go through all that is just there's been a couple meetings where we've had quite a number. It's kind of a time management thing, and so we put that change in just so, and we're letting you guys know you might have to par things down. I don't anticipate that tonight. We have just a few cards. And a reminder on this, these meetings are televised on the great Tri-Valley TV, particularly Channel 28. Wednesday, Saturday evenings, and those are at 7 p.m. Monday mornings at 10, Friday and Saturday mornings at 0900. Moving into Section 4, this changes the agenda. I'd ask our superintendent, Mr. Van Schack, if there's any changes this evening.
Mr. President, there are no changes this evening.
All righty. So we can get right into our recognitions. I know we're waiting on those Maryland kids.
We have a number of students who we're excited to recognize today, and we'll start with Mr. Joe Mounier, the principal at Maryland Avenue STEAM Academy, and he's got some fantastic students he'd like to introduce you to this evening.
Evening, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, Board President Bueno, trustees, Superintendent Van Schack, and the Cabinet, and LVJUSD, everybody. Thank you for having us tonight. Tonight, I stand with Maryland Avenue STEAM Academies, some of the finest. In fact, each of these students, ranging from 1st to 5th grade, has been nominated by their teacher for showing great courage and perseverance since the beginning of the school year. From the beginning of the year, each of these students not only has done an amazing job in showing up each day with a smile on their face, but has also notably supported or helped others in the classroom in various times of need. They are a true inspiration to those around them, and we celebrate that hard work and honor them tonight. So thank you, boys and girls. So we have Ricardo Ramos, Diego Ortiz, Scarlett Weems, Noah Seitz, Valeria Alton Ildago, Jaden Batara, Santiago Luna Garcia, Lila Suarez, Violet Gustino, and Mateo Diaz Enriquez. So congratulations, you all, and thank you for being an amazing start to the school year that we can all celebrate tonight. All right?
Great. We're going to have you kids come through so we can shake your hand. Two Lilas. Thank you. Nice job. I love your hair. It's awesome. Yeah, right here. This is perfect. Yeah, we'll just kind of bunch up.
Christy, you gotta come over here again.
This is your kind of group.
Those two, they're a little shorter. Yeah, we should put the shorter ones on this side.
You know what we got to do? Under our table, really? You take little boxes. No, people do it. They slide them out.
There we go.
That's good. Everyone look forward. Say cheese. Okay. Nice job, kids.
Oops.
A lot of big things coming at Maryland.
Yes,
It's exciting.
very much.
Okay, as they file out, we could introduce 5.2, please.
I'd like to invite up the student leaders who are with us this evening, that we are here to recognize our student body presidents. If you guys could come front and center. Ms. Mickey? So we are very excited tonight to be able to recognize the student leaders at our secondary schools. As you know, student leaders create a voice for us in our leadership team, and it's been one that we valued for many years. We recognize that students have a lot to say about what's going on at their schools. We recognize the incredible amount of hard work that goes into being in a position of president of your student body. We recognize that decisions you make aren't always the most popular in every case, and you stand up and you do what's right as you think for the students, and again, you provide us with a really important voice in the running of our schools. And so we want to make sure each year that we invite our student leaders forward, and tonight I'd like to introduce them to the board. And so
Please.
when I mention your name, please just kind of raise your hand so that we can say hello. We'll start with Christensen, Amani Pryor. Amani. Oops. At East Avenue, we have Camilla Becerra. At Joe Mitchell, we have Anya Wood. At Junction, we have Haku Ogawa. At Mendenhall, we have co-presidents. We have Bianca Behines and Addison Rosenland. At Granada High School, we have Katie Kanan. At Livermore High School, we have Ava Hepner. And at Vineyard, we have Ian Hittinger. Ian? And once again, on behalf of all of the 13,100 students we have in our school district, thanks for the work you do. You bring voice to students, and that's incredibly helpful to leading the schools, so thank you.
Thank you. Are they going to take a pic here, or are they going to go up front?
We're going out there.
Okay.
They're out here. They have homework.
Yeah, they got to get going, huh? What the kids file out. All righty. We're going to move into our student board member reports. And so this evening, are you going to do both?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Amanda Dunmire is going to do both of our reports from Granada and from Livermore.
Testing. Okay, perfect. Okay. Good evening, Board President Bueno, members of the board, Superintendent Van Schack, cabinet, and community. My name is Amanda Dunmire, and I represent Granada High School. Great things are happening at Granada. Just within the first month of school, there's been a flurry of events that we are all excited about. September 15th through October 15th, Granada honors Hispanic Heritage Month. The Granada's Library is recruiting sophomores through seniors to apply for the Library Advisory Board through its Voice and Choice campaign. Homecoming nominations were open the week of September 7th, and homecoming will be held at Granada on Saturday, October 7th. It should be a night to remember. Seniors Information Night will be held on September 20th. Students at Granada are encouraged to join our own cinema club, which is all about watching movies and discussing with friends how cinema has grown from the past to the present. Kudos to Granada's chemistry teacher Amanda Cleveland and math teacher Matthew Clifton, who are honored by the Pedrosi Foundation for inspiring students. Congratulations to Computer Science Teacher of the Month, Keenan Willis. We appreciate you. Granada's JV football game had an astronomical turnaround and won their game on Thursday, September 7th against Castro Valley. Way to go, Granada. Friday, September 8th, Granada's varsity football team hosted Castro Valley, an excellent win, Matadors. As a bonus, a fundraising event will be sponsored by the Granada team with t-shirt sales, and 100% of these profits are going to be donated to the Maui Firemen. Girls flag football started their season off with a win against Livermore. Go Granada. Granada launches its new YouTube broadcast production channel. Check it out. Granada's back-to-school open house was held on Wednesday, September 13th, and was a huge success. On Tuesday, September 12th, Oregon State University and UC San Francisco kicked it off as one of the very first colleges visiting Granada. That's it for today, Granada. Stay classy.
Thank you.
Okay. Just right.
You can go right into Livermore.
Alrighty.
We know you're reading it for Catherine.
Okay. Good evening, Board President Bueno, members of the board, Superintendent Van Schack, cabinet, and community. My name is Catherine Johnson, and I am representing Livermore High School. Sorry. The last couple of weeks, everyone at school has been settling into our new routines, and we are starting to really enjoy all of the events and excitement that come with the beginning of the school year. Last week, we had a Spirit Week for the 9/11 Memorial Football Game, and I was so happy with how much participation I saw throughout the week. The new system for counting Spirit points has been keeping competition between the classes high. Because everyone is striving to win, we are working out some flaws in the system, but I have confidence that this will be a good way to keep track of Spirit points. On Friday night, the red, white, and blue game was held in honor of those who lost their lives on September 11th. On Tuesday, our girls' flag football team played their very first game, and although we didn't win, we are working on learning from everything that happened. On Friday, we also had our belly flop fiesta, which was a lot of fun to compete in, even though my nose disagreed. And our winner was a senior, Aiden Shakira, and he won a lot of more Spirit points for the seniors. When I was helping set up for back-to-school night, I loved seeing how many posters had hung up all over campus and all of the events that were going on. Many of these events revolve around homecoming with the dance, skit, rally, and football games. All of the classes are working on planning their dance routines for skit, which is a lot of fun to watch. Back to school night was also a big success because there was a lot of parent participation. A recent club info meeting is getting everyone looking forward to when clubs officially start up, which entails scheduling how to spend lunch during the week. Seniors are getting ready for our senior picnic, which is coming up on us quickly. One of the groups in leadership is decorating a bulletin board for Hispanic Heritage Month, and will complete it soon. Sorry. This year, the theme for our yearbook is Beyond What's Here. Our Country Tri-Valley ROP Teacher of the Year, Mr. Bernard, was given the award by the Country Superintendent of Education, Alicia Castro, as well as the County Board Trustees. We also recently had Channel 2 news at our school for Miss Johnson's physics class and David Rekeshaw from LLNL who had curriculum about using phones for class. On Thursday, we had the first principal's advisory meeting where students' concerns on campus were discussed. which is a nice conversation because I always know how the administration loves to hear everything. Miss Mellenbeck was recognized as a Teacher of the Month for her work, equity, and inclusion, as well as her all-around school spirit and her attendance at all the games, home or away. The September focus for PBIS on Making Connections next month's theme will be anti-bullying. We won the silver recognition for PBIS for last year, and we are looking at going for gold this year. We have a speaker presentation assembly in the future about anti-bullying, which everyone is invited to. I'm disappointed I can't be here tonight to give my report, but I am currently playing to win my flag football's team first home game. Thank you for listening, and today is a great day to be a Cowboy.
Very classy. Thank you very much. We're moving into our Employee Association reports. And so normally we have a report from LEA, as well as CSEA, SEIU, and then our confidentials. So do we have any? Yep. We do. LEA is not able to be here tonight, Amy Thompson. So come on up. Good evening. You're on.
Thank you. Good evening, Board President Bueno, Superintendent Van Schack, board members and cabinet. I'm Stephanie Wagner, the CSEA president. I wanted to thank everyone for coming to our CSEA potluck. I do realize that it was back in May, a little late. I appreciate everyone who came and supported our event. Between donations, the raffle, and the silent auction, we raised a little over $1,400, which will help with this year's 3 scholarships that we give to our members' students either going into college or already in college. Thank you for being supportive. We have been working on our negotiations with our successor contract for some time. I will say that I'm a little disappointed in how it has been going. Due to the increase that CSEA did not negotiate, we didn't receive the things that our members needed. We were told several times that due to the $6 million deficit for next year, they were not authorized to negotiate anything that had to do with money. It saddens me that instead of closing out some of the programs that are costing the district greatly, the board changed their minds and kept some programs that maybe they should not have. I know these are difficult choices and they affect students. If we're going to say that it was due to the students, maybe the increases that we received in March and in July should not have been put in place. I'm not complaining that my members received an increase in their pay because we all know that pretty much every group has some members that fall below the market value, and this put us up higher, but not where we should be. CSEA needs and wants, CSEA has needs and wants as well, but when decisions are made without looking at all bargaining units, it creates issues. I believe we are waiting on a couple of things from our district right now, and hopefully once we get that, we will be able to close out our successor contract. I will end this on a positive note, though. We are excited that we brought 5 positions to the district who were below market value according to the EMS class and compensation study, and we were able to bump up all 5 one step. We finished it up pretty quickly, and I think we just need the final description on one of the positions, and we will be complete. I appreciate that we were able to get those positions above market value. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And I don't believe that SEIU, Kirsty Governor, or Lily Lopez is here this evening. So we're going to move into communication from the public, and this is section 8. Communication from our public is a time for the public to comment either in writing or verbally on any item that is not on the agenda. We, the board, may listen to the comment, and following, we may even ask staff clarifying questions. But we can either discuss or take action at this meeting on items that are not on the agenda, and this is in accordance with the Brown Act. So if you'd like to address a topic that is not on this evening's agenda, now is the time to do so. Each speaker may speak once and allocate the time based on the ratios previously mentioned. 1 to 10 comment cards would be 3 minutes, 11 to 20 is 2, and 21 or greater would be 1 minute. And I believe I have a couple of tan cards here. So I'm going to call up, I believe it may be Zoa or it might be Loha Khan. Hello? Please correct me on the I'm just not sure if it's a Z or an L. Loa? Z, Zoha. Okay. Zoa Khan. Just hit the button on the bottom and the green light will come on. There you go. And keep the mic real close, and we'll start the 3-minute timer once you start talking. That we want to hear what you have to say, and we want to make sure that the camera captures it.
Respected board members and families, hi everybody. I'm here today to speak about a cause that is very, very close to my heart and extremely worrisome as a parent of this. And I just wanted to address this today and let you guys know that I'm here to talk about the LGBTQ plus agenda that is being or might be mandated in schools across the board. I just wanted to shed light on what I believe is my duty and my right as a parent to talk about sensitive subjects like sexuality or LGBTQ plus to my children when I see fit and the time that I see fit, age appropriate as well, because I feel like every child is different. Some are more sensitive than others, and they would need to be told or given such information in a way that would not overwhelm them or not confuse them. I myself have not received that information in my childhood the most appropriate way, which led me to not have the facts right or understand certain things in a more peaceful way. So I believe very strongly that as a parent, it is completely my responsibility and my duty to tell my child, things that I feel are sensitive, especially for children who might not receive the information like most other kids in society. So I wanted to address this issue and let you guys know that if there is any such information that is going to be mandated in schools, that we hold back and think about it long and hard so we come to a conclusion as a society. So I strongly believe in peaceful coexistence, but that does not mean that certain ideas should be pushed down, in a format or in an environment where we don't know what necessarily children might be thinking. And if I have to be very honest, I don't really think that my child would come to me with those topics if he's too afraid to ask me certain things, because he might think I might not approve, or he might think that it is very overwhelming for me as a parent as well. Because as a citizen of this very beautiful country that I call my home now, and better still my children who are growing up here, I really believe that in order for me to be a good parent, I need to disclose information at the right time and the right age, which I feel is appropriate for my child. Every child is different. I believe that very strongly. So I want to nurture our children and our society in such a way that
10 seconds.
Such a way that our children grow up to be good citizens of this world. So please help me out with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's your time. Thank you. Our next speaker, and if there's folks in the audience that are listening, if you share the opinion of the person who's speaking, you can simply put your hand up, because I know sometimes it's hard to speak in public, and it gives us a read of the folks that are in the audience and how you relate to the speaker. Thank you very much. Okay, so our next speaker is Samira Amin.
Good evening. My name is Samira Amin, and I am a member of the Muslim community in Livermore, and I am a concerned parent. As a Muslim, I would like to emphasize that disagreement doesn't equate to hatred for those with differing views or ideologies. We as Muslim parents teach our children to reject bullying regardless of differences in belief. With that being said, today I am here to assert my parental rights and oppose any indoctrination of my children in our schools. It's disheartening to witness our kids being taught insane ideas about gender while children in China are studying quantum physics. Our state sponsors indoctrination even in toddlers, who can barely form a complete sentence, let alone think critically. We, the parents, have a God-given duty and legal rights to provide moral guidance, which include the right to reject ideologies conflicting with our beliefs. Our schools are now dictating that all students must accept and affirm LGBTQ practices. As Muslims, we won't be coerced into believing what our faith condemns. This isn't a political stance, but a moral principle. All too often, those upholding traditional family-based values are labeled as bigots, homophobes, or transphobes for not endorsing LGBTQ indoctrination. My question to the LGBTQ community and the authorities promoting such ideologies in our schools is, aren't you violating the same right you seek for yourselves? We don't mind what you do privately with your sexual orientation or identity, as long as it's not imposed on us and our children. Let's be clear that it's not a one-way street. To conclude, our politics are not our ideology, and our ideology is neither left nor right. Our ideology is centered in our unshakable faith, grounded in our unchangeable creed, and firmly rooted in the timeless words of our Creator. No amount of force or indoctrination can alter our stance in this matter. Thank you so much for giving me the time to speak.
That concludes our, that's all the cards we have, and so that's going to conclude our public comment on this. Thank you very much. And we're going to close public comment, and we're going to go into formal written correspondence. Formal written correspondence to the Board of Education shall be acknowledged if received by us, the board, or in the superintendent's office by 4 p.m. the day before the meeting. Formal written correspondence received after the cutoff time will normally be read at the following meeting. Generally, it's considered formal correspondence if by accessing the LVJ, the Livermore Valley Joint Unified School District website, by accessing formal written correspondence to the Board of Education, that link, all fields completed and verified, that's what we treat as formal written correspondence. With that being said, I'd ask our clerk, Trustee Prusso, if there's any correspondence, and if so, to please summarize.
Believe it or not, we have no correspondence.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move into our discussion items. These are non-voting items. And I would have Superintendent Van Schaak, if you could introduce 9.1, please.
Certainly can. So last year we began the process or the practice of having each of our schools come to the board and present information about the academic success of the students of their school and their plans moving forward. And tonight we begin that process once again. And leading off for us this year is Maryland Avenue and Principal Joe Meunier. So Joe.
Good evening. You're on.
Good evening. Good evening. All right. Well, good evening, Board President Bueno, trustees, Cabinet, Superintendent Van Schaak, everybody. It's great to see everyone. It's been a lot of changes over the last year, and I'm excited to be here representing a new site and new challenges and opportunities with the community. So it's been very exciting. I think one of the biggest, most important things this year that we're going to talk about with the school is celebrating the amazing history, but also looking and supporting the families. And I have parents and grandparents actually at the site who went to the site years ago and have told wonderful stories celebrating those things, but also building on it and increasing our capacity of learning and professional development for our future generations of students that walk the halls. So I have, yeah, it worked. So during the board presentation, I'd like to share with you some of our information that's been a highlight for us. Our increase in school enrollment since last year at this time, we went from 375 students at enrollment or day 14 to 434 this year at day 14. So We're very proud of the marketing and the work around the STEAM Academy and the rollout of the new school year. We're definitely already seeing an increased enrollment and participation in the school. For just as another good example, we're one of the only schools with 3 TK classes. So we have a lot of little ones. So we're building from within the neighborhood community, which is great. Let's see. Another item to keep an eye on, the kickoff the STEAM site, including Dr. Holly Barker as our STEAM coordinator. She's leading the way with our project-based learning programming and has done a great job of working with the Buck Institute and getting copious amounts of professional development for the staff. That's been something that's been well received, and we are rolling with it already as we speak. So I know, in fact, I got an email today that we're partnering with a few restaurants downtown, and we're going to be working through our garden and the project-based learning across multiple grade levels. So it's pretty exciting stuff. We anticipate school-wide increases in academics across our state and local measures this year based on the dedication and the systems that we are putting in place. Especially based on our core academic schedules and the amount of minutes in the classroom that we are guaranteeing that time is being explicitly placed and done at the highest levels possible for the students. Let's see here. And then lastly on that slide was just some information about we are the first elementary school site to implement a wellness center. We have counseling support for our students in a given space 5 days a week. So we have the ability to help support those social emotional skills that are actually very necessary. I have an amazing psychologist at the school site that has joined us this year as well. And between her and the counseling team in that center, it's already off and rolling to a wonderful, wonderful beginning. Demographically, you'll notice again 434 students, ethnicity is 64% Hispanic. I look at these numbers and I think as a lead learner myself, I look at the socioeconomically disadvantaged number at the bottom as the most concerning component. I know that all students can learn and at a high level. What I need to ensure is that we eliminate barriers that keep students from gaining access to their learning. And so socioeconomically disadvantaged components are some of the variables that do have huge tolls on our students and their families. And so with our work again in social emotional components and providing supports within the community, that's how we're trying to help tackle that challenge there. So as we look at the school success chart or data, the third column over shows some excellent gains from last year. So in 21-22, the school worked hard. They began the PLC cycle system at 3 times over the course of the year. The 10% or a 10-point or 10% jump in ELA and an 8% jump in math it's wonderful to see that. The reality is, if you look on column 2, we're looking at a 40% proficient number and a 37% proficient number across grades 3, 4, and 5. We know the reality of that information and we're addressing it head on. We have lots of plans in place. Our PLC cycles and the fundamental purpose of the professional learning community is to ensure that all students can and will learn at high levels. With the support of our TOSAs in the Magnet Grant, we have a huge focus on Tier 1 teaching and learning and helping to support the classroom teachers with core curriculum, along with, again, some of those variables maybe from the socioeconomically disadvantaged component that might play in. And so we have an opportunity with this amazing team of people to help support this school in a better way than they've ever had resources before. And I truly believe that. These are some of the smartest educators I've ever worked with. It's very incredible. Our attendance rate did increase last year. I'm going to tell you that I think it'll increase again this year, the panorama as well. And I think the increase that you're going to see is going to be because we've relaunched our PBIS program. The PBIS model at our site is be safe, be kind, and be responsible. And we just had an assessment the other day done by one of our district leaders, and over 90% of our students knew be safe, be kind, and be responsible, and could explain how to do those three things in different areas around campus or at home. I thought that was pretty impressive from 1st through 5th graders on the fly with a stranger that they didn't know. So we're on our way. All right. Our student readiness data, you'll see an increase in our EL progression. Last year was a 2% gain. We are re-looking at our designated ELD time and including a new program that our students are using online along with small group to support gaining higher jumps, obviously, in the EL progression. You'll notice the referrals for behavioral components, we didn't have enough data because the PBS system wasn't in place well enough last year for us to cull data. But every meeting we begins with a recap of behavioral data that is within our system. Very proud of our 3rd grade team, 11.5% jump on grade level proficiency. At the end of last year, we anticipate seeing the same kind of jump again this year in 1st and 3rd grade. So I look forward to next year coming to speak to that. You'll notice we have on there the letters training. We have two cohorts. 2 of our staff are in cohort 1, and 10 more have been invited to begin this year. And so we're going to have 12 teachers with the science of reading under their belt. It's the best training. If you ask any teacher that's been through this training, this program is the training that is going to change the way we teach kids how to read. And so just very excited to have all these teachers having access to this and getting this foundational understanding. Projects for the year. So the rebranding of the school as a STEAM Academy has been a big undertaking. I've started working on this in May. The Community Engagement Department has done a beautiful job of supporting myself and the school site to help really set it apart from a traditional elementary school. I'll tell you that the STEAM approach and the way the TOSAs are working and the project-based learning in the afternoons, I really do think that the parents are getting a lot out of it because their kids are. I think they're feeling it and seeing it and talking about it. We had a very highly engaged PTO meeting last night, and I know that the parents are very excited about the work that the kids are coming home and sharing. And then again, our project kickoff for our bond remodel, and the bond department has done a beautiful job preparing us for April 1st of 2024. We look forward to the 1.5 to 2-year project to remodel the school and update the school to a way that it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And so I know the kids are excited about it, the staff's excited about it. I have people that have been on this site for 28 years and they're over the moon. So we appreciate the dedication to the school from the board and the cabinet, and then also the community, of course, for the bond measure and your choice to utilize those funds here with us at Maryland. So thank you all very much.
Okay. We have no cards, so there's no public comment on this item. Any questions or comments from the board? Trustee Drummond?
First of all, thanks for your work. I know coming in over the summer and spearheading this is no easy task.
Yeah.
My question is pretty simple. I guess I have two. First, tell me a little bit more about letters. I'm not familiar with this program, so.
Sure. The Letters program is something that Mr. Connor in the curriculum department has come up with that is based on the science of reading, and it's phonemic awareness, and we're going back from a leveled style of reading to more of a phonemic basis. So we're teaching kids just the raw sounds and how to work at that. And so the way the training is setting up is it's shifting the mindset of our teachers to go back to this other individual style of sounding out the letters, and then it's repetition through time, like over vast amounts of time. So in fact, our Sunday program that we run 5 days a week runs through this. It's 20 minutes every day that TK through 5 use. And so they're getting this repeated, and it's the same model every day. And it's just been amazing. We've seen huge gains. And it's something that we started doing last year, actually in my last site, with great results. So I'm very excited about it.
And then second, the TOSA. TOSA means Teacher on Special Assignment. Is
Correct.
that the project-based learning TOSA, or do they have other duties, or is that that's their jam?
I do have somebody that is on that jam, yeah. So we have a STEAM TOSA who runs every single class. It's almost like a science period, but it's a STEAM period. Every single class gets 1 STEAM period per week with this person, and then that STEAM TOSA also oversees and supports all of the project-based learning that's happening in every classroom 4 days a week. In the last block, we have a protected block at the end of the day. So she's kind of like the catch-all for what tech do you need, what science materials, how can I help integrate math into that lesson for you? But I also have an amazing math teacher on special assignment. I also have another reading teacher on special assignment who we've just finished up our PLC cycle with our teachers and are going to go into our intervention and extension blocks over this next week. So it's a very exciting time, and I know I see you two quite frequently, but I would invite anybody, if you would like to come see and visit the school site, we would love to share. Very exciting.
Thank you. Trustee Prusso.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple of things. First off, that I was really happy to see that there's already an increase in enrollment, because I know that was one of our goals with moving over to the STEAM Academy. And then also just happy to see, I know it's kind of starting out small changes in our school success as far as data in math and language arts, in our reading, but to see that trend, and I think with the team that you have with you this year, I feel like we're going to see even more increases for next year. So I think that that's really exciting. And then also I just feel like the whole community there, I just get this sense of excitement, and I think that it's great. I feel like just sort of changing the goal of the school and giving it that STEAM has gotten people excited. It's gotten people over there. And I was there on back to school night, and I just feel like there was a lot of excitement brewing, a lot of parents there, and people just really excited. So I think we should just take that and run with it. And thank you for all your work and for your staff and everyone there. I think it's awesome.
I appreciate it. Yeah, so it's a lot of hard work, and I hope that we can make you proud, and I anticipate we will deliver. So it's going to be a great year.
Thank you, Trustee Prusso. Trustee Wong.
Hello. Now, I've just seen so much excitement in Maryland since even before you arrived, just when you started going over there last year to meet with teachers and staff, and there's renewed energy everywhere, and including the PTO. If you could just say a little bit for the community that may not have really noticed that there's now the word STEAM in the name of the school, and you just mentioned every student now has one STEAM period a week, and they have this project-based learning, their classes. Can you, and I'm assuming we're still in a transition to being a STEAM academy. Can you say a little bit more, so people in the community who might not know much about it, what is the STEAM in Maryland Avenue STEAM Academy?
Sure. Well, the STEAM comes from a magnet grant, federal grant, that is allowing us to provide supports in the school system that will, we have designated the theme of STEAM as opposed to VAPA or there's multiple different themes that the school district could have made the decision on. We chose STEAM, and so what that means is that we have a dedicated plan to support pushing STEAM into all the kids' classes and daily curriculum. So whether it's going to the STEAM lab and getting their hands messy, doing a lab project in there, or developing and trying to solve a real-world problem within a small table group or whole class group over a period of 6 to 8 weeks. The STEAM grant, or the magnet grant, has provided us with the training and the support from TOSAs and our grant coordinator to develop all of the STEAM, which is the science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so right now the students are all working in we're leaving the I, which is informational. The I was the first one. We call it I STEAM. And the S is the science part that we're stepping off into next. And so if you were to come to school and ask the students, what are you working on in your project-based learning block, we hope that they would be able to share with you their essential question that they're working on, or what their topic is, and then how it relates to other components in their life, in their world. And so it's something it's exciting and it's different. I think that we've gone through, because it's new for us and it's new for the staff, there's some challenges inherently along the way with, but what do we do about this, or how can we do this? And I think everybody's kind of taken it with stride that this is our first run at adding a whole new curriculum with a huge amount of professional development. It's a very detailed, the Buck Institute is a very detailed organization that has done an amazing job, but it is also a lot to swallow. And so the staff, I think, has done a great job of kind of finding their feet and being ready to really develop some awesome plans with the kids. And so the STEAM Academy, we do go by Maryland Avenue STEAM Academy, and that is our new moniker. But we welcome families. There will be exhibits, and at the end of each STEAM cycle, there will be exhibits that we will be sharing out to the community. So that's a big part of the process as well.
That's great. Thank you. And thank you for bringing my Maryland Avenue friends here tonight. I think Trustee Pruso and I agree that was the best Pledge of Allegiance.
Nice. Thank you. They're amazing. Their teachers were like, oh, we have great kids. We got you. And I was like, I know you do. So, yeah, they were great. So, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Wong. Trustee Guzman.
Yes. Thank you for the presentation. I also just think it's great that practically the entire student body knows the be kind, be safe, be kind, be responsible, basic human qualities that I think we should all know. I do have a question regarding the English learners and just the designated ELD, 30 minutes a week, or 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week.
Yes.
Is that school-wide, or is that just classroom? How is those 30 minutes structured? And then what are the your fully English proficient students doing
Sure.
at that time?
That's a great question. So with our student population, what we want to do is we make sure that we understand where everybody is today in their learning and what they need to be successful. And so our designated ELD students that we have assessed and are ready to support will be pulled into small groups based on their level. And once they're in their level group, that might mean that the teacher is working with a level group, while another group of students that might not be designated ELD are potentially working on a math program or doing an extension piece in a different area where they can be independent. And then some of our students, what we've also tried to tackle this year really head on is newcomers, students that come in that really have no English. And so it's a big concern, and those groups are going to our most highly qualified specialists. That would be we have two TOSAs that will take care or work with that group. And so it's not about, nobody's missing anything, right? It's about giving kids what they need to be successful. And if they need more of something, we will just continue to add more time to build this foundation. And so, like I said, you could have a room with a teacher in a small group. You could have, and then another larger group within the room. You could have a group of kids leaving, depending on the grade level or the number of students and the level that those students are at. So it can work in different ways, and I'd be happy to let you physically see it. If you'd love to come I'll share our schedule with you. But it's very specific based on the child and the rest of the class around them, right?
Right. Thank you. And that was actually going to be a follow-up. It's like, I'd love to come and visit.
I'll send you an invite.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Real happy about the stuff that's going on at Maryland.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that the federal government and all the people here that were responsible for getting the grant to bring in the program money, as well as our facilities people that are bringing in, a couple dozen $1 million, over $20 million into Maryland and Junction to do some capital improvement stuff. It's vitally important that we have the backup, that your leadership's there to help steer that entire effort. So there's been a lot of talk over the years. I've been on the board now for 9 years, and there's been an enormous amount of effort that's gone into change, and this appears to be real change. One thing I would like to see is on page 2 of the presentation, it talks about just some of the demographics for Maryland STEAM. And I'm wondering if we can get, not obviously tonight, but if we can get the demographic data that goes back maybe 3 years or 5 years, so that we can actually associate the change to any demographic change, if there is some. One of the things that I've seen here that's a driver that really hinders learning and achievement is the socioeconomically disadvantaged. So if that number is changing and that is the sole driver, then maybe it's not our changes. So I want to just see, so we actually can determine a true cause and effect, that it's an apples to apples comparison, and that it's not gentrification or something else, So I'd really like to see that as we go forward. But
Absolutely. And we can pull that data pretty easily, so we'll get that to you.
that'd be great to get that. So
And
we can
then,
do that. And then track it as we go forward.
Sure. And we can present that next year as
That'd be
well,
great.
as part of the presentation. I'll tell you that my goal is to keep kids in the neighborhood in our school, right? I'm not, if a family moves in, if you have kids, I want your kids in my school. And that's my goal. I called 100 families in May and invited them to come to a welcome, to Maryland Avenue STEAM Academy event. And we were able to get a bunch of families to come, a bunch of families that had moved in and had requested transfers, then withdrew their transfer requests after coming in and hearing about the amazing things that we're going to be doing here at the school site. And I think it's just a matter of the positive word getting out on the street, that it's really a great place. It's an amazing school with a huge amount of heart and love. And I'll tell you, the teachers they're working really hard. And we've got some systems that are starting in place, and then with the development of the new school remodel and our learning plans, the sky's the limit. So it's going to be a hot spot here in a minute. You'll see.
I trust in your ability. I mean, you're skilled, you're clearly enthusiastic, you're confident, and I know you're well-funded. So
There you go.
that's a combination for success.
You bet.
And so I have faith that you're going to actually accomplish it. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And I think it was mentioned briefly, but I think it's important to recognize the three TK classes at Maryland this year, because you don't build a school from the top down, you build it from the bottom up. And so adding students, TK and then K, and as they grow, the student population will grow. And I know that Mr. Mounier mentioned it briefly, but he did a lot of work this summer to encourage additional families to come give the STEAM Academy a shot, and was very successful in doing that.
Thank you, Mr. Meunier.
Thank you all.
All righty.
All right.
One more discussion.
We do. We have Mr. Glenn Sherman. He is our Director of Maintenance, Operations, and Facilities, and this evening he will present information regarding the summer projects. And so this is the recap that we do each fall about all the great work that happens in the summer.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. Good evening, Board President Bueno, Board Trustees, Superintendent Van Schack, Cabinet. As mentioned, I am Glenn Sherman, Director of Maintenance, Operations, and Facilities, and I'm here tonight to present our summer report on work we were able to complete during the summer break when, well, some people were getting a break, maybe not so much us. Again, I have this picture to start my presentation. It's a beautiful picture of the Aquatic Center at Livermore High School that the bond completed back in June. And I know I had it in my report in June, but man, I just love that shot. What a great looking facility. On this slide, I kept some of the old photos. If you remember back in June, I had some old photos of some of the roofing and stuff. And because the changes were just so drastic that you could see here, these old pictures of the before really show the reason why this work is so important and needs to be done each time we get a break, like the summer break. When we start tearing into old roofing, you never know what you'll find. You'll see a picture there of some dry rot, the fourth picture across the top there at the East Avenue School, and we were digging into there. And here we also have some great photos of projects at Junction, East Avenue, Livermore High when they're completed. Work was also done at Christensen over the multi-purpose room, and this work was possible thanks to Measure J funds. Thanks to our generous community and the funds received from Measure A parcel tax, each summer we do inspections in regards to fire safety. Extinguishers are checked and recertified. Fire sprinkler systems are checked for either their 1-year or 5-year certifications. Backflow devices are tested and repaired where necessary. Fire alarm devices are checked to make sure they are working as designed. Playgrounds are given a thorough inspection to make sure surfaces are in good shape, bolts and fasteners are tight, and there are no defects in material or visible hazards. And I'd like to mention that we sent our plumbers out for some training this year, some PD on backflow devices, and this year we were able to certify those in-house, which saves the district about $6,000 per year.
It's a big deal.
Many trees were lost in our March storms, and this picture showing one of several trees planted at Smith Elementary School to replace those that came down in the bad weather. Also pictured our ground staff working on the garden area for Granada High School outside of room 407, and a picture of the garden area at East Avenue Middle School after the tall weeds and grass were removed. Boxes were built from our students at Youth Build, and other planters were put in the space as we revamped it. Grounds also worked on the garden space at Lawrence Elementary, as well as prepared the front of Lawrence Elementary for mulch by removing the old grass and some of the soil. Tracks at Mendenhall and Junction are dragged and cleared during the summer. And they do all of this while they manage the routine mowing and trimming and blowing that just never stops. Our grounds department is responsible for taking care of 357.5 acres of district property. This is no easy undertaking. Painting projects include the sign at Jackson Avenue, The west-facing side of Delval High School, because it takes the sun, it had really gotten beat down and really needed some work. The science wing and band library building at East Avenue Middle School. And there's just, through the course of the summer, there are many minor painting projects associated with the work of building walls, extra spaces needed throughout the district. There's a lot of other painting that goes on aside from this. So the bond department completed a lot of asphalt, new striping this summer and last summer, and you know, we didn't want them to get all the glory over at maintenance, so we restriped Sunset Elementary, Altamont Creek, and Croce Elementary parking lots this summer. Our custodial staff cleaned over 1,560,000 square feet of building space over the 10-week summer break. Carpets, tile floors, desks, windows, tables, countertops in classrooms, restrooms, multipurpose rooms, media centers. I mean, the list just goes on. We're all cleaned by the custodial staff. Our custodial staff has also been trained in how to clean and seal all our wood gym floors, and they do the bulk of this over the summer break as well. We had a host of small projects throughout the district, which included adding hydration stations at Altamont Creek and Lawrence Elementary Schools, creating office space at Arroyo Seco in Room 8, replacing or adding several HVAC systems at Maryland Avenue in their kitchen and also their counseling center, Granada High School counseling area and custodial break room received new HVAC units, and an HVAC unit in room 204 at Granada as pictured here, along with work where we added a sink to the transition students' classroom at Lawrence and removed walls to open up a classroom space in room 5 at Croce as the need of that room changed. So I call this my miscellaneous summer fun photo here. One of the nice changes for us in the summer for maintenance is we get to actually plan out some work and projects to do. Most of the time we kind of feel like the fire department or the police department and responding to emergencies as they come up. There's just never really a dull day in maintenance. These are all photos of some of the additional items that we attended to in summer and oftentimes have to respond to during the course of the school year. Pictured here from the top row is a backed up lift station. If you don't know what that is, it's not a very good situation to have. A call came in for a snake. Since I've been here, there's been several snake calls. Having born and raised in Arizona, sometimes I go out there and take care of them personally because I'm not too scared of them, but those calls do come in. There's some shenanigans at one of our pools, trees snapping off from strong winds. The float building, we had some help with the youth build students and built the float, and it came in first place this year too, I'll have to say, in the rodeo parade. Coordinating volunteers such as these from Cornerstone Church here in Livermore. They work at Lawrence, and I worked alongside them that day, and that had to have been the hottest day this summer. I couldn't believe how dedicated they were to help us on the project, because it was, I believe, 103 degrees that day. And we have another picture of a broken pipe at Livermore High School. It was discovered that it had happened way back when the solar project was done. With someone, we sent a camera down because they were having some issues, and there it was. So we had to take care of that this summer. And I put a picture in there of the HVAC unit over at Granada getting put on the counseling center just because, you know, I love that kind of stuff. I thought it was really cool. I like to go to the site when that kind of thing's happening to witness that kind of work. And as always, the maintenance department is thankful for support from our board, school district staff, our community. It takes a commitment to help our department to best take care of the facilities in our district, and we always feel supported by all of you. I was able to attend the back-to-school day at Junction Avenue K-8 school, and this picture speaks volumes as to why we do what we do over the summer and during the entire school year. Students should have a safe environment to learn in, and staff should have that same environment to work in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We have no comment cards, so we'll close public comment on this. And we'll start with Trustee Guzman.
Thank you for all your work. I'm pretty impressed with the gym just those pictures, the little girl in me wants to run and do like a slip and slide, because those look like I could go fast. The other thing is, I'm also just curious, does the blue on the safety inspection pipe signify a specific pipe, or?
Yeah, so several years back, what would happen, we'd send somebody out saying, hey, we got an irrigation issue, I need you to go shut down the backflow. They go out there and they see all these, which one? So blue is domestic water, red is fire, and then green is for irrigation. So if you go out on the site, we painted them specific colors so that they're easily identified.
Okay, thank you.
Just wanted to say deep appreciation for maintenance. I mean, there's nothing like coming back from the summer, your room's clean, it's been vacuumed, just ready to go. And we can't do the work that we need to without maintenance. So just really deep appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Prusso.
I'm basically just going to echo what Stephen said, but I will say that it looks like you guys just have fun, so it's not really work, right?
Sometimes.
Snakes and shopping carts on the bottom of swimming pools.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
No, it's just so great. And I know summer is your season, really. That's, if you were playing a sport, that would be your season. And it's a hard time to be working a lot. And that's time when a lot of people like to go on vacation because the weather's nice. So we just appreciate that you guys are around and get everything finished so that when the students come back, it's ready to go. So thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's the fastest 10 weeks ever.
Thank you. Trustee
I
Wong.
also just wanted to say thank you, and it's always fun when school starts to go to the campuses and see everything shiny and new, and so big thank you to you and your staff. And then I just have one question: is what do you do with the snakes?
We release them in a different area than the school. Yes. We get them out of there and release them somewhere.
Take them to a farm.
To a snake farm. Yeah.
To the farm, out there. Huh?
The shopping cart,
Did you
did
get
someone
it?
dive into the pool, or is that classified information?
There's some mornings we come in and some phone calls we get from our custodial staff that show up at the sites first thing in the morning that there's always some weird stuff that goes on. I don't know how they get it over the fence or how they get it in the pool, but they do. And we try to get that stuff, like graffiti and things, we try to get that knocked down before any of the students or staff start showing up. We send all hands on deck to get that stuff cleaned up and out of there so nobody sees it. But yeah, I don't know how they got it over the fence, how they got it. I don't know. There's been couches. There's been there's been some really. Those are really hard to get out because they get waterlogged. Those are pretty heavy. So.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It is amazing. I mean, as a side note, we responded one time to a high school where they said a car went into the pool. And we went there and the fences are all intact. Everything's intact. Well, they hit the fence so fast that the cyclone folded. The car went into the pool and went submerged, and the pool was murky. It wasn't being used. And we couldn't see it. So we're like, this has got to be a false call. There's nothing here. Well, there was a car at the bottom of the pool. And there's no way you'd think, how would this car ever get in there? No skid marks, anything. It went under the thing. So stranger things have happened. I want to thank you, though. This is really good work. And some of the things that you mentioned, I know you just mentioned them in passing, and maybe they're interesting, but to me, they're extraordinarily impressive. 357 acres being managed, 1.5 million square feet of flooring. Those are numbers. And in addition to that, you put some things under your purview, which I know takes a big effort. Motivating people to go to the class, to get certified, to do fire risers, to be able to do your hardwood floors, maintenance, to be able to motivate them, get them there, lose the manpower while they're being trained, and still to accomplish this. That takes good leadership. And so we really, really appreciate what you've done. I was here when you weren't the director, and I've been here while you've been the director. And it's a notable change. You've done really good work. So I appreciate it. Thank you. righty, we're moving into our consent. I think there's 14 of them tonight. It's 10:02 through 10:15. If there's no comment cards, we'll close public comment. And if anyone would like to remove any, we can remove it. If not, I'd entertain a motion to move them in their entirety, 10:02 through 10:15.
Second?
I didn't say it. I'll move. Did you?
I said I would entertain. I didn't make the motion.
Move.
I was gonna,
Never mind.
I was like, second what?
I could have saved the
I-
time, huh?
I'll move that we approve consent items 10.2 through 10.15
In their entirety?
in their entirety. Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion by Trustee Prusso, and it's been seconded by Trustee Druin.
Want to go?
And no discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk, if you'd call the roll.
Trustee Guzman.
Aye.
Trustee Druin.
Aye.
Myself. Myself, aye. Trustee Wong.
Aye.
President Bueno.
Aye, the motion carries unanimously. I don't believe there's any consent resos this evening, and we didn't remove anything. So we'll go right into board member reports, and we'll start with Trustee Prusso.
Okay. I already spoke about the opportunity that I had to go to the back to school night at Maryland Avenue. So I'm not going to repeat that, but it was great to see the community. And then I missed the back to school night at the high school. But I heard that there were a lot of parents who were participating at Livermore High. I think Trustee Wong was also at Granada, so we'll find out from her. But I think that's great. And then also we had a ROP board meeting this last week where we recognized Austin Hudson as the criminal justice and EMR instructor for his dedication and his hard work. He's done a lot for the program. And then we also had an update on the summer programs, which include, we have a teacher summer externships experiences. We had several of the teachers do externships where they would go and spend a week in doing the work that they're teaching. And so it was really great for them, but also great to develop those relationships with people and bring that back to their students. So I thought that was a really great experience. And then we also had multiple camps for ROP. We had Girls Who Design and Construct camp. We had drone camp and robotics manufacturing camp. They were all held at Las Positas College, and they were all, there were waiting lists, I think, for all of them. They're hoping to do more next year. It was really great, and all the camps are free, which I think is awesome. And we need to get more Livermore students there. I think we had more students from Pleasanton and Granada, but the instructors were all from Livermore, so I don't know how that works. But from Pleasanton and Dublin. So we need to get more of our Livermore students there. So hopefully that we can do that next year. The camps were amazing. We got to see footage of what the things that they did. The robotics manufacturing camp, they had Tesla came out and they built these little Tesla cars, a manufacturing Tesla thing, and they had people from Tesla there, and it was very exciting for the students. And then also the drones was pretty fun too. I think this was the first time they had the Girls Who Design and Construct camp, and it was also well attended, fully staffed, or fully all filled up with girls, and they got to do all kinds of things. Some of the girls said they'd never held a hammer before, and they were there building things, which was really great. I was also able to attend the Lawrence Elementary Fun Run that their PTSA put on as a fundraiser, and it was really fun to see the kids running around. I believe that they raised over $50,000, which I think is pretty exciting. I think our kids used to have to sell candy bars, and now they run, which is way better. So that was fun. And then also just an update, we had Health and Wellness Committee yesterday. Katie Krause presented there. I think it was similar to the presentation she gave us this past summer. We also discussed new policy changes for health and wellness and had a discussion on students' mental health and the emphasis of our board of superintendent to address mental health, bullying, and hate speech specifically. And I believe that we're anecdotally seeing progress in these areas, and I think we're all anxious to see how the school year continues and hope we can improve student and teacher staff relationships and mental health. So That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Wong.
Last Wednesday, I attended the first middle school cross-country meet of the season, and I won't say what school I rooted for. Go Eagles. I also attended back-to-school night on high school night. I was at Granada High School, and my Flavors of Day Kids Livermore team also went out to Livermore High, and we displayed vapes that were confiscated from students just in the first 3 weeks of this year. And I really appreciate our admin at our schools for being willing to put that on display for parents to see. I think some other schools, they might want to hide them and hide the problem, but I really appreciate that our admin's willing to take this problem head on and show this is still happening. This is how many are floating around our campuses on any given day. And so please talk to your kids. It's definitely still a big problem because we have rogue retailers that are still selling to youth. Let's see, this week or last week, I can't remember now. I attended the monthly county all schools call by our county Department of Ed and Public Health, and they are recommending flu and COVID vaccines so we can reach community immunity and keep our kids in school as much as possible this winter. I attend a middle school back to school night. I was at Joe Mitchell, and on Monday night we had our Tri-Valley SILPA meeting, and staffing continues to be a challenge, especially in special ed in all the districts. Everyone's having to come up with creative ways to staff using consultants and internship programs, and I really appreciate our special ed director, Frank Salvaggio, for really trying to come up with creative ways to keep staffing going, especially on a long-term basis, sort of looking ahead to how are we going to not constantly have this problem. So he's coming up with some different things to do. And so tomorrow now will be the third time I'm seeing Frank in the evening this week. He and our special ed coordinator, Zandra, will be presenting their annual State of Special Ed to parents at Civic Center Library at 7 o'clock. So I really encourage all parents of special ed students to attend and hear that. It's always very informative, and they'll stay and answer all questions. And then lastly, Saturday is the start of the Multicultural Celebration Series at Bankhead Plaza, so hope to see everybody there.
Thank you very much. Trustee Druin.
Hi, everybody. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. I've had a pretty busy last 2 weeks. I attended the Youth Climate Summit, which was fantastic. It was great engaging speakers. It was student-driven, targeted towards students, but there were tons of community members, including middle schoolers, people of all ages there, engaging presentations, diverse booths by community members, students, businesses, and there was a delicious lunch. I also attended a garden beautification event at one of the elementary schools. I was wowed by the enthusiasm and dedication of the volunteers and appreciative of everyone that's helping out with the community gardens at the various schools. And glad that it wasn't 103 degrees when we were doing that. I also toured the Sheet Metal Air, Rail, and Transportation Local 104 training facility. I learned about their training and career opportunities, which was a fantastic learning experience for me to think about pathways in the trades. I'm looking forward to going to the Green Strides Tour at Altamont Creek tomorrow. And October 4th is Walk and Roll to School, which is sponsored by the Alameda County Safe Routes to Schools. It encourages students and families to safely walk and roll to school throughout the Bay Area. And I will ride my bike, as I do most days, to take my kid to school. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Guzman.
Thank you. Yes, since we last met, I too also attended middle and high school back to school night. It's always great to see the many families from all the backgrounds attend and take part in their students' learning. On Saturday the 9th, I believe it was the same as the Climate Action Day, I attended Junction K8's second annual car show, which is a fundraiser by their PTA group. I had amazing food, pupusas and pan dulce, while I walked around the classic cars. The thing is, I didn't realize it was their second annual event, but it was amazing. I will definitely plan on continuing to attend. I also want to announce 2 community events that are occurring this weekend. On Saturday, September 23rd, in downtown at the Bankhead Plaza, there will be a celebration of Indigenous Peoples and Hispanic Heritage Month. Also on Sunday, with Quest Science Center, in collaboration with the Bankhead Theater, we'll be hosting a free screening of the movie A Million Miles Away. It's the life story of astronaut Jose Hernandez, who has visited Livermore schools, and he is on the board of the Quest. The event is free and open to the public, but does require a ticket, so please get your tickets via the Bankhead Theater website. In addition, the astronaut will be in attendance to answer questions both in English and Spanish. Having said that, ahora les voy a contar en español que este fin de semana 2 eventos especiales para nuestra comunidad. El sábado es día para celebrar los pueblos indígenas y el domingo es en una colaboración entre Quest Science Center y el Teatro de Bankhead, una proyección gratuita de la película A Million Miles Away acerca del astronauta mexicano-americano José Hernández. Ustedes pueden conseguir sus boletos por el sitio web del Teatro del Bankhead, y también el astronauta estará allí para contestar las preguntas en los 2 idiomas. So I hope to see our committee members there and family.
Thank you very much. I attended a few of the events, these back to schools. I'm looking forward to the rock and roll to school. I usually ride my bike to school every morning. So a lot of good things going on in the schools, and I especially appreciate the effort in steering some of these improvements, be it at Maryland, be it our maintenance operation facilities. These are extraordinary tasks, big lifts, and it takes a lot of people behind the scenes. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. With that, Mr. Van Schack.
Thank you, President Bueno. Very happy to report we are now in the 5th week of the school year. Expectations have been set, routines have been established. As I've mentioned before, we have a renewed focus this year on creating and maintaining high expectations for student behavior, particularly as it relates to language. The elimination of profanity and hate speech from our schools is our goal. Along with that, we are also working to create school environments in which appreciation and gratitude are communicated on a regular basis. As was mentioned in the student reports, fall sports are in full swing, and we're already seeing great performances by our student athletes. We look forward to seeing how the seasons play out as our teams enter the midpoint of their schedules. We recently sent out surveys to students and parents about their thoughts regarding the high school schedule. We've had conversations over the past couple of years about a move toward a semester-based system, which would put us in line with our neighbors and provide students with opportunities to develop connections with teachers over a longer period of time. We will review all the information we can gather and make a decision on that some point in this fall. We're also happy to announce that we have a group of national and local dignitaries visiting Altamont Creek School tomorrow to see the great work they've done with waste diversion and other environmentally sound practices. Altamont is among a number of Livermore schools who have been recognized nationally for their efforts to save energy and reduce waste. So we're very excited about that recognition. We'd also like to thank the Lawrence Livermore National Lab for helping to provide us with instructional support for physics and metal shop programs at Livermore High School. We've had great partnerships with Lawrence Livermore and also Sandia through the years, and our students continue to benefit from those partnerships. And I'd like to lastly share that I received some emails from teachers asking me to thank our board and our leadership team for supporting them in their efforts to make our classrooms inclusive and supportive learning environments for all of our students. That support from the board has not gone unnoticed. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you very much. And with no further business, we will adjourn at 20:35.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Owen, when you came into my life, it was a whirlwind.
I just can't do it.
We didn't know what the future would hold, but we knew you would always be a part of it. Adopting you was the best decision in our life. And I'm so proud to call you my son.